that you should think about in general as you look at schools. And then at the end of the presentation, I'm going to talk a little bit about the University of California Davis Law School program specifically to give you a sense of what's available at our school, and then we'll take questions. So let's get started. I think it's helpful to begin by talking briefly about how education in the legal field works in the United States. It's a little bit different than in some other countries. So in the United States, students get a 4-year bachelor's degree in any subject before they go to law school, which is a professional degree. So the students go to 4 years of college and then 3 years of law school. This is very different from a number of other countries in the world where the law degree is the first degree or the undergraduate degree. So I want to point that out. In the United States, once a student has completed the JD program, he or she is qualified to sit for the bar exam in a jurisdiction in which they want to practice. And that is the beginning of the path to being a licensed lawyer in the United States. There are other factors as well, and we'll talk about those in a few minutes. So the next step, educationally, for some students is the Master of Laws, or the LL.M. This is a 1 or 2 year program. And in the United States, this type of program is attractive mostly to international students. It's also, there are certain specialized LLMs that are very, very focused. For example, LLMs in taxation that are attractive to domestic students. But for the most part, LLM programs attract international students. And this provides advanced legal knowledge of the United States system and or a special field of law, generally speaking. Some students find that they need to continue their education even further, and they go on to get a SJD or a PhD in law, which is the highest academic degree that one can get in law. And this is for both domestic and foreign scholars. And this is a track that people take most of the time when they plan to stay in academia versus going into the world to practice law in a practical way. So once you've gotten a law degree, a JD or an LL.M. in the United States, you become eligible to sit for the bar exam in your desired jurisdiction. And once you pass the bar exam, hopefully you do, you also have to apply to the bar to be admitted to it. And there are additional requirements that go with that, including, let's see, this part is a little out of my own specialty. So this includes, I think it's on the next slide actually. Oops, no, not in this presentation. So this process includes character references, it includes statements of ethics and integrity. There's an entire process to actually be admitted to the bar after you pass the bar exam. So that's a brief overview of the path to practicing law in the United States. So, given that context, how do you know the best law school to choose for yourself? There's so many schools to choose from, and so many reasons to choose any one school over another. It can be difficult to sort out all the options. So with this webinar, we hope to help you with that. So begin by considering, of course, the overall quality of the law school. There are several different dimensions that contribute to quality of a particular university. Perhaps the foremost is faculty. You want to make sure that you'll be learning from faculty who are respected, active, and you know, sort of ahead of the curve in their field is a phrase that we use. You want to find the best faculty you can, especially if you already have a designated area that you know you want to specialize in. Be sure that each university you're looking at has a good number of accomplished faculty in that area. Of course, rankings are a very popular way for students to assess the relative quality. Oops, I hear some background noise. They can be an excellent way for students to assess the relative quality of one school to another. And the most popular rankings are the U.S. News and World Report rankings. We'll talk more about those in terms of UC Davis later. Alumni success is another excellent measurement of the quality of one law school over another. Where are their alums operating in the world? What kinds of work are they doing? What sort of successes are they enjoying? And is that a way, can you see yourself doing that kind of work? Of course, the overall reputation of the school is very important. And this reputation is probably something that you would hear more through word of mouth or looking at social media conversations online. What do people think about the school generally, real people? And what do you think about that? Is it the right fit for you? Another dynamic to consider is support services for students, career services, academic success services, disability services. There are all different kinds of services that universities are able to offer. And which ones are valuable to you and do you need to have the successful experience that you want and deserve? Make sure that each university has these features. So let's talk a bit more about the faculty. The accessibility of the professors is going to be a key factor in your success as an LLM student. So in the United States, the faculty are typically much more available to students than they may be in other countries. So become prepared to go and visit your professors in office hours and talk with them about items from the course that you don't understand, maybe go more deeply into the reading material. Also talk with them about your experience overall. Ask them for help, ask them for advice. They want to mentor you. Also look at the level of faculty involvement in student organizations. It's important that you have opportunities to interact with the faculty outside of the classroom situation. So let's think a little bit about the curriculum in particular and make sure that we are learning how to examine for ourselves the different offerings that universities have, that law schools have. So the first question you'll have to answer is what's right for you, a general LLM or a specialized LLM? A general LLM gives a broad overview of the United States legal system. A specialized LLM may contain some elements of U.S. legal system overview, but generally it will focus in a particular area of legal practice, such as intellectual property, international law, commercial law, etc. If you have a specialty articulated, are the areas that you wish to study clearly covered in the curriculum? So you want to make sure before you apply that you know that those courses are going to be available to you. It's important to check because some courses are not available every single year. They might be offered every other year. So you want to ask the admissions staff if any particular courses that you need will be offered in the year for which you're applying. Are the professors in your specialty field well respected? We've already spoken about that. Think about whether you will need to take the bar exam in order to further your professional goals. And if you do need to take the bar exam, what kind of bar preparation is offered by the law schools that you're looking at? Will you transfer to a JD program afterward? And if you will, does the school that you're considering offer a path to transfer? At UC Davis, for example, we do have a streamlined application to the JD for those who have completed successfully our LLM program. The LLM admission does not come with admission to the JD, but there is a simplified path that makes that easier for qualified students. Also think about whether a 1-year or 2-year LLM program is right for you. There are also part-time study options for LLM degrees in the United States. So if it's difficult for you to think about leaving your current practice or position for an extended period of time, you can look into those part-time options. UC Davis, for example, offers a summer part-time LLM in international commercial law. So you can look for programs that have a similar structure if that suits you. Okay, here's another big question. Do you want to be integrated with your school's JD students in the classroom? We think at UC Davis that it's important to integrate the JD students with the LLM students throughout the curriculum. The benefit of spending time with the JD students is that you can learn from them and share, their diverse perspectives as well as your own. So we find that the conversation in the classroom is enriched when more different kinds of people are able to participate. So that's one reason why we integrate our JDs and our LLMs. Now, a downside is that sometimes LLM students feel intimidated about being in class with American law students because they worry about their English. A lot of law schools do offer LLM preparation programs that will help you to hone your English, and UC Davis does offer several of these programs. I'll talk about them more later. So that's something to consider as well. The other thing that's great about being integrated with the JD students is that you can develop personal and professional friendships that will last a lifetime. This can be very helpful, especially if you're planning to practice transnationally, because then you'll have contacts you can go to when you have a question or even do business with. So we think it's a great asset. Student associations and enrichment activities are an important part of your overall life experience with the LLM gear that you take in the United States. So as you consider different law schools, it's important to look at the number and type of student organizations that are offered. Look for guest lecture series and symposia to enrich your academic learning and context as you work through your courses. Look for conferences. Some law schools have centers that focus on different areas of scholarship. UC Davis has several of these, for example, including the California International Law Center. And look for other networking events and any other kinds of fun social events that are regularly scheduled. For example, we are soon to be celebrating Halloween, which is a fun fall holiday in the United States where people like to dress up and kind of be silly and have a good time. And the law school has some different social activities around this holiday, and it just adds to the cultural experience. It's a lot of fun. So look at the event calendars of the schools that you are considering to get a sense of the culture and the additional resources and activities that you'll be able to access. All right, student life and community life. So this is expanding a little bit on the slide previously, more into sort of personal questions that you should consider for yourself. So some students who come to UC Davis have told us that they already felt connected to the school. Maybe they had a sibling who came to UC Davis in a different department, or they had a friend who had gone to the campus and fell in love with it and told them about it. This can be a powerful way of connecting to different universities that you're looking at. So be sure to leverage those connections. If you have children, make sure that you choose a school that's in the right kind of community for continuing to raise your family while you're in school. Davis is well known to be a super family-friendly and child-friendly community. It's safe. There are many activities for children. The schools are excellent. These are some things that you should consider with every community that you're looking at. Ask yourself, or I should say, ask the LLM admissions office, where do students live? Do the students live mostly on campus, mostly off campus, or is it a combination? Each of those configurations will create a different climate on campus, and it will change how easy it is or how convenient it is for you to connect with your fellow students outside of class. Look for any campus amenities that you might need. For example, recreation centers, performing arts centers, sports offerings, craft classes, etc. UC Davis offers all of these and much more. It's important to balance your life as much as you can while you're in the LLM, and these can be ways to do that. The other thing that you should think about, this is very important, if the kind of law that you want to practice is location dependent in some way, it's important to get your LLM in that region, if at all possible. So if you, for example, want to practice tech law, probably you would want to go to an LLM program somewhere in Northern California so that you can be close to Silicon Valley. So that's the kind of question that you should ask yourself. Where do I want to practice? What LLM programs are available closest to that place? And then think about your personal preference for big cities versus smaller towns. In what environment do you feel most at home? In what environment do you think you'll be able to study the most without distractions? These are questions only you can answer for yourself. I'm going to get a drink of water just a minute. Okay. All right, so this is a big one, costs and funding. So obviously an LLM degree is a significant financial commitment, and you want to make sure that you can make that commitment and that you will get the payoff that you want by choosing the right program. So how do you create a budget for yourself? How do you know what your expenses will be? Well, the first question to answer for each school, of course, is what is the tuition and what is your own personal budget for tuition? But don't stop there. It's important to consider living expenses as well. So, for example, California, um, within California, there can be significant differences in living expenses. Law schools in the San Francisco area and in the LA area will have much higher living expenses than law schools in the Valley, like UC Davis, for example. Another concept that can be helpful is to understand that the coasts of the United States, the East Coast and the West Coast, generally have much higher living expenses than communities in between in the center part of the country. So think about your total budget and then be sure to examine all the costs associated with each school. So living costs as well as tuition, campus fees, health insurance, transportation, etc. Investigate the payment schedule for tuition. Some places may require the tuition to be paid in full before the semester starts. Generally speaking, that's not totally true, but some places may. A lot of universities offer an option to create a payment plan that's interest-free, where you're paying in installments each month as the year goes by. Ask each school, what are your options for making tuition payment, and what is the most convenient for you that they can offer? Of course, you want to find out if the law schools that you're interested in offer scholarships or fellowships. UC Davis offers these, and for example, we do not require a separate application. So when you apply for the LLM, you are automatically receiving consideration for fellowship funding. This may not be the case at every law school. It's an important question to ask. Most law schools will post that information on their website as well, but I encourage you to contact the admissions staff to ask about specific options and make sure that your needs could be met by what is offered there. And I provide the URL to our website here on the slide. You can find more information about other external sources of financial support there as well. All right. I see that Pedro has joined us. Oh, he's gone. Never mind. Bye, Pedro. Um, okay, so there may be additional special characteristics of the LLM program itself that you value that you should consider. Do you want to go to a pre-LLM program at the same school? We at UC Davis offer two programs, English for Legal Professionals and Orientation in USA Law. Many other law schools offer pre-LLM programs as well. Often these are considered open enrollment, which means anyone can go to them. So you could consider going to a pre-LLM program at your own law school, or maybe you would want a different experience and you can go to a different law school, perhaps even in a different part of the country, and have a cultural experience there as you polish your English, and then transition into your LLM experience at your school. In addition, you may want international English programs. These are longer programs that are very rigorous and can help you really improve your English quite deeply. Is that an important factor for you? What is available to you in terms of OPT, which is optional practical training, at each school for after you graduate? Is that something you even care about? This is something that you will need to ask yourself. What is the condition of the teaching facility? Does the classroom space that you'll be using, is it smart? You know, we use that phrase, smart. Does it have the latest technology which can allow for really interesting learning opportunities through internet resources, through different kinds of media in the classroom? What does the study lounge situation look like? What kinds of resources are at the library? These are all questions that you should ask yourself. We're really proud at UC Davis of our law school facility, which is called King Hall. It's named after Martin Luther King Jr. And we recently renovated and expanded it, and it's beautiful. It's full of natural light, and it has many conveniences for the students, including 24-hour access. So think about what kind of facility is going to help you to have the best learning experience. We talked a bit about special resources already. There may be other things that come to your mind that are personal just to you that you need to have met at a given school. Be sure to ask about those specifically. Contact the admissions officers and ask your specific questions. Okay, let's talk now a little bit about the teaching style in the United States law student classroom, which can be different from some other countries. In the United States, law schools rely on the Socratic method versus a traditional lecture. Let me explain the difference. In a traditional lecture environment, the professor is in the front of the class and speaks for a long time about the content, and the students absorb the content and they go home and study. In the United States, we do things in the Socratic approach. So reading assignments will be read before class, and then the professor will lecture a little bit, usually at the very beginning, to expand on or deepen understanding of the concepts in the reading. And then the professor will expect a dialogue to begin to happen. The professor may call on a student out of the blue and ask them to contribute something to the conversation. In the same vein, the professor expects the students to ask questions of each other and of the professor. So there's a give and take in the classroom that can feel very different for some of our students. It's not it's a totally supportive give and take. It's not about making anyone look unprepared or like they don't know the answer. That's not it at all. The goal is to deepen the students' understanding by having them work through the issues that the reading and the concepts raise in this discussion format. This is, again, one reason why many law schools value integrating the JD students and LLM students in the classroom, because in that Socratic discussion, more perspectives are at the table and can be shared so that everyone leaves with a much broader sense of the impact of the legal concepts that they're studying. Let's see, some of the common challenges that international students face in the classroom are English proficiency, so we do recommend participating in a pre-LLM program somewhere to brush up on your English before you come to class in the fall. We also recommend that you find out about the support and social activities that are planned for international students at the law schools that you're considering. It's important that you are able to connect with other international students so that you can share resources and build your network and commiserate about being far from home. That's important too. I want to make an important note here. Some students plan to work part or full-time while they complete an LLM as a way to offset some of the expenses for that program. We strongly recommend against doing that. The LLM program at any law school in the United States will be extremely rigorous and will require all of your focus. And we just don't support the idea of students trying to work at the same time. So it's important to plan your finances well so that you can take that year to completely immerse yourself in the curriculum and in the social and professional opportunities that the LLM program will provide you. Okay, so now that we've talked through some questions that you will need to answer for yourself as you research programs, where do you learn about LLM program options? Probably the first place you'll want to visit is the Law School Admissions Council website. It's a huge database of all the ABA accredited law schools in the United States. And I think it may have some in a couple other English-speaking countries as well. And this is also the place where you will probably apply to most of the programs. So I would encourage you to create your personal profile sooner rather than later, and to start looking at the different programs that are available to you here. And from each school's profile, you can easily navigate to their website and their contact information. Drink of water. All right. There are many other resources for researching law schools as well, and I've listed several of them here on this slide. So I'll take a minute to talk through those. LLMguide.com is a long-standing independent internet database of law school options. That's excellent. We love them. Definitely check that out. Of course, go to the website of each school that you're considering. Contact the admissions officers. I think I've said that already like 10 times, but it's probably one of the most important things you can do is reach out, make a personal connection, ask your questions. Social media can be a great place to connect in a more casual way and to also get a sense of the day-to-day experiences of the students in a given program. Please reach out to your Education USA offices like this one. The specialists in those offices are here to help you pick schools that will be a right fit for you and to help you understand the application process and many other things as well, including the visa obtainment process. So please use your Education USA offices as much as you can. Your country may have opportunities for in-person or online LLM-focused education fairs. These can be great. Info sessions that are offered when university staff travel to recruit can be very helpful as well. Webinars like this one, and also live online chats. So look for all of those as ways to connect with the schools that you're interested in. So this is the part of the presentation where I'm going to transition to speaking specifically about UC Davis for just a little bit. So UC Davis is part of the University of California system of universities. We are really proud of that. It's one of the best university systems, public university systems in the world. And the UC Davis campus is geographically the largest of the 9 campuses in the system. And our whole university, so this is the law school plus all the rest of the schools at the university, has about 35,000 students. The law school has around 500 to 600 students right now for the JD and the LLM program combined. And that's actually a smaller sized law school in the United States. And we're proud of that. We like having an intimate environment where all of our students are seen and get the support that they need and are able to connect with each other and with faculty in a really productive way. The city of Davis is a very popular town. It's one of the remaining few classic college towns in the United States, and we're proud of that identity. It's a very safe city. It's friendly. You can ask people on the street for help, and they will be very happy to help you. The town itself, not including university staff and students, has 65,000 residents. It's the bicycle capital of the United States. We are located in a fairly flat area in the Central Valley, the north part of the valley in California. And it's very easy to ride a bicycle anywhere, and students love that. It makes transportation fun. It's relaxing, it gets some fitness in, and it's very affordable to be able to bike. Our permanent population is highly educated, and our climate, of course, is lovely. It's a Mediterranean climate that most students find just really enjoyable. The School of Law itself is currently ranked number 30 among best law schools in the latest U.S. News and World Report. We're proud of that ranking. That report ranks over 200 law schools in the United States, and so we're happy to be in that top group. There's another survey that is, I think, felt to be a more accurate measure of law school quality by academics and professors. And we have received number 23 for faculty quality in that survey, and we're very proud of that. We are also recognized for the diversity of our faculty by Princeton Review. So let's talk a bit about our LLM programs. We have two programs. We offer an academic year program that has a number of options. There is a general or customizable LLM track. Track is too strong of a word. Option. I'll say option. And so the general LLM, again, offers an overview of United States legal systems and theory. You can take that general curriculum and shape it in conjunction with your advisor around any area of interest that you have. So that's one option. We also offer some sort of pre-planned specializations that are popular with students. We can create any specialization that you like, but there are some that are often chosen that we've already sort of got prepared that you can look at, and you can modify it any way you wish. We do offer a 2-year LLM option. That is the right option for some students. If you think that's something that you might need, we ask you to contact our admissions office so you can discuss your situation further and make sure it is the right choice for you. We do also offer at UC Davis excellent bar preparation to those students who need to take the bar to further their professional goals. So these are some of the most popular areas of those pre-planned specializations. Again, we can create a specialization around any topic that's represented in our curriculum, but these have been some of the most popular. Business law, criminal law and procedure, environmental and natural resources law, healthcare law and bioethics, human rights and social justice, intellectual property, international law, and public interest law. So what are we most proud of about UC Davis School of Law? We love our faculty. They're internationally known, and they love to share their knowledge. They enjoy international students so much. They look forward to having international students in their classes. Our student body is innovative and engaged, and again, you would be in class with the JD students as well, so that just increases the depth and breadth of your experience at UC Davis School of Law. Because we're a little bit smaller law school, the student environment is intimate. You'll make lots of friends very easily. Our facility is beautiful and modern. Our library is excellent, and there is access through it to all of the UC collections as well as additional resources. So there's a tremendous amount of information and books and documents that are available through that library system. We do offer the possibility to transfer to the JD program at UC Davis. So if you are planning to do that or want to learn more, please contact our admissions office. I'll give you the contact information at the end of this presentation. And we do also offer scholarship opportunities. Like I said before, at UC Davis, when you submit your LLM application, it is automatically considered for fellowship support. You don't have to do a separate process. Other schools may be different, but that's how we have decided to approach it. So we also offer a career services office that's a full service office, resume and cover letter review, mock interviews and interview coaching, networking skills workshops. These are all available to you at UC Davis School of Law. We are proud of our more than 50 student-run organizations. There are student-run journals. And we plan special activities for our LLM students, field trips, to legal related destinations like the courthouses, the state capitol. We also take our LLM students on some fun outings to Lake Tahoe, to San Francisco, and similar enjoyable places. I should mention, by the way, that UC Davis is located about a 90-minute drive east of San Francisco and about a 2-hour drive west of Lake Tahoe. So it's a wonderful place from which to explore all that Northern California has to offer. You can drive to Los Angeles from Davis. It will take you 6 to 8 hours, but a flight to Los Angeles is just about an hour. So it's a really well-connected area. In addition to the academic year LLM, we do offer, as I mentioned before, our part-time summer LLM. It has a specialty, a pre-planned specialty in international commercial law. It's got a wonderful part-time structure that allows you to keep a job or even to be attending university in your home country and to come to Davis in the summers. It would take you 2 to 5 summers to complete the curriculum. And it's a great program. Our alumni love it. We have some videos on our website of our alums speaking about their experience, and they're really excited about it. As I mentioned previously, we offer at UC Davis 2 summer pre-LLM programs. The first is English for Legal Professionals, and the second is Orientation in USA Law. Those programs happen back to back, and a number of students do take both programs. And finally, we wanted to give some snapshots of the broader student life at UC Davis. So we're really proud of all that we have to offer in terms of enrichment activities like arts and crafts. We have performance arts. We have a beautiful rec pool that's wonderful in the warm weather. We have a large equine facility and a large activities and recreation center where you can do all kinds of sports and exercise, among many other options as well. The town of Davis has restaurants with food from all over the world. There's a beautiful farmers market that happens a couple of days a week, and the Wednesday night market is just a wonderful gathering place for the community. There's live music there in the summer, as well as all kinds of foods and crafts that you can buy. So that brings us to the end of the PowerPoint part of this webinar. My contact information is there. I would love to hear from you. And this is the moment when I will ask for your questions. So what would you like to know? Any questions? And feel free to text those in the chat. Yep. Hi, Pedro. What's your question? Okay, so Pedro has asked a question. As an international student, how much about U.S. law and my national law should I domain? I think that's a typo. Maybe you can clarify the last word. Oh, I see. No problem. No problem. Okay, so that's a great question, and that is one that I can only answer in a very general way. I would encourage you to send me an email, and I will forward it to our admissions office for more specific information. But in general, the expectation, the requirement, in fact, for application to an LLM program in the United States, one of the requirements is completion of the degree in law in your home country. So that completion of that degree shows us that you have all the basic knowledge of your home country's legal system. And my sense is that there's not an expectation that you have a huge amount of knowledge about the United States legal system when you apply for an LLM program. But again, my background is actually not in law, and so that's just my sense of things from working in this field for a little while, but I would love to get a specific answer for you from our admissions team. So please send that question along and we'll get that answered in a more specific way. And if you could let me know in the chat if you heard my answer and if it makes sense, that would be great. Perfect. Okay, excellent. Do you have other questions? I know there's just a few of us on the webinar today. I'm in no rush, so take your time and we'll answer any other questions that you have. Okay, so it looks like that's it on the questions for today. If you think of a question after this webinar has ended, please contact me at llm@ucdavis.edu. Again, llm@ucdavis.edu. I would love to hear from you and to help you find the right school for you, even if it's not our school, though of course we do hope it will be. But this is a big decision, and it takes a lot of different kinds of support and information to make the right decision for you. And if we can be part of that process, we at UC Davis would be very grateful for that opportunity. Yes. So thank you for being here today. And I think that wraps us up. Alexandra, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, so I think we're going to wrap up then.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Kate, for all interviews. I will make sure that I share this through our social media and with our contacts. Anyway, questions, I will, of course, continue. Right now, I cannot think of a specific one, but I will let you know. And Thank you so much. And this was great.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure working with all of you, and good luck to each of you who is looking for an LLM program. I know that you'll find the right one, and you'll have a great experience. And we look forward to seeing you in the U.S. So take care, everybody.
You too. Thank you, Kate.
Okay. Bye. Bye.